I want John Thune fired just as much as you do. But until we can name his replacement, the Fire Thune movement is, let's be real here, just noise. It's everywhere on social media, be it on X, Facebook, even right here on YouTube. You'll find call after call after call to fire Senate Majority Leader John Thune. As I said, I'm right there with you. He's not doing the job. The Save America Act and not killing the filibuster has been a frustrating fiasco. Trump's mandate sits waiting, collecting dust to be put into action. But replace him with who? That's the real question, right? Because I think it's easy to say just fire the guy. But don't you have to already have someone better in mind? So who is it? I've asked this question multiple times across social media, but I've yet to hear an answer. And this puzzles me. If someone thinks Thune should go, and I think they are right about that, then shouldn't there be an answer? I mean, even coming from some of the bigger voices around X, the Eaglemans, for example, or Cat Turd, pick one. They post endlessly, fire John Thune, Thune must go, yada, yada, yada. But even in their own posts, they offer no answer, no alternative. They don't give us names. It's just fire them. And honestly, to be fair, I can't give you a name either. Do we have strong voices in the Senate right now? Sure. John Kennedy comes to mind, and I love the guy. He's full on entertainment. I love his quips and one-liners, but is he leadership material? I'm just not sure I can get there. Josh Hawley's another strong voice, and I like his brim and fire, but is there a lot of substance behind it, or is it more just play for the cameras when they're rolling? I don't know. I tend to think so. Rick Scott's been an interesting guy, but what's he really done? And these would all be top names or top contenders if you wanted to go there, and none of them fit the job, at least not in my opinion. So, where does that actually leave us? To me, it would seem that we're at a bit of a crossroads here, aren't we? I mean, I've said the same thing several times about even the midterms. On the one hand, the Republicans have pretty much sat on their hands, yet handing power back to the Democrats right now would be a total disaster considering their current platform. I think the bottom line for me is that for whatever it's worth, and for whatever that means going forward, we're just lacking leadership, period. All stop. Now, here's another question I think is worth answering. Will John Thune actually be fired? The short answer is no, he won't be, at least not anytime soon. In order for that to happen, there has to be someone, or let's just say a lot of someone's in the Senate calling for it. Right now, not a single Republican senator has done that, not one. And even Donald Trump, who's rightfully frustrated with the Save America Act, hasn't named a replacement. It's easy to point fingers at the Senate, but it's even harder to look at our own side of the internet and call out the hypocrisy. Now, here's where I probably ruffle some feathers, but hey, I think being honest and forthcoming is a necessary evil sometimes. I don't want to be just another breath of hot air on the internet. I get called out all the time for being a shill for the party. People tell me all the time I go along with anything Trump says or does. If you followed me at all, you know that's not true. In fact, sometimes I'm the hardest on my own party. To the Hunter Eaglemans of the world, to Cat Turd, and I like these guys, even to all the influencers calling for John Thune to be fired. And stick around because I have one final question at the end that might make you rethink if firing him would even matter anyway. Shut up. No, really, just shut up about it. I don't want to hear the easy part. I want to hear the hard part. I want to hear the part no one can answer, that no one's even trying to answer. Because if you don't have an answer about who replaces him, then I think you're just posting fire him for clicks, views, engagement, and accolades, hoorahs, thumbs up, and right-ons. You're not serious about the call. Again, I want you to tell me who it is that is better suited to get the job done. I want you to make a strong argument about the who's next and why he or she is the right person for the job, because here's the other thing. Regardless of what we feel on our side, regardless of our own frustration with the lack of leadership and not passing the Save America Act, without anyone else talking about possible solutions to the problem, it leads or should lead one to conclude a couple of things here. No other senator has the answer either about anything. They're all standing lock and step right behind Thune when he gets up to the podium and declares he's the only one capable of doing math. A complaint is a complaint, and nothing more if you can't offer an alternative idea instead of what you're complaining about that's wrong. How many times have we worked with someone who said, this sucks? And you ask them, well, how can we make it better? And they don't have an answer. That's not an argument. That's not something compelling that's going to turn heads and make people think about how to fix what sucks. As I said before, I'm right there with everyone else on this issue. Firing John Thune would be a strong message, but I'm not sure it would solve the problem. It just kicks the can. Kind of like what we did in Congress, all that speaker nonsense. I mean, what did we accomplish with Mike Johnson? Just another head at the podium to tell us all the reasons why nothing can be done. At the end of the day, in order for us to have an effective and productive conversation, we can't just complain. We can't just say, this guy's no good and we should get rid of him. We have to be actively thinking about what the better alternative is. And here's the truth: no one has given it serious thought. Thousands of views on my own talking points asking the question across social media. Even from this video, maybe the 10 people that actually watch it will maybe give me an answer or give me a name, maybe two. But so far, all I've gotten is pure silence, not one suggestion. And again, I'm not saying I can offer one either, so I'm not trying to bust anyone's chops. Okay, that last question I promised. One more question, as the famous Peter Falk as Columbo would say: do you really think firing John Thune would change anything? I mean, do you think firing John Thune is the magic pill that fixes everything? Because I think it's just a distraction from the hard work no one wants to do. We're mad. We're justifiably frustrated. We want to see things get done. We want that Save America Act passed. And we just don't feel like the people that are in the Senate or even in the Congress are really listening to us at all. If we fire John Thune, do we get an answer to all of our problems, or just someone new to complain about?